This is the first episode of the Bronxy Joffa show, and we're going to do a 2016 season preview. So Joffa, let's start. Nathan Buckley's 5th season as a coach. Talk about a 12-month contract extension. Is that a good idea?
Oh, absolutely. I think Buckley's been very good for Collingwood. I think that we can judge Buckley on this year onwards. I think this is his list now, so to speak. I think Bucks would be aware of that. And I think that this list that right now is going to go very well for Collingwood. So I think Buckley's in a prime position to go well.
Ace in 3 starts for the past 2 years, and we failed to make the finals both times. Are injuries to blame?
Oh, I'm not worried about the last 2 years. I know a lot of Collingwood people are sort of beside themselves about getting off to a flyer and then, coming down, crashing, so to speak. Injuries haven't been kind to Collingwood over the last 4 years, probably. I'd say 4 years have been very cruel to us, injuries. And I don't think it's making excuses when you say that, because if your top line players are getting injured, no club has got the depth today to cover that. I'd like to think that we've had our horror run with injuries, and from this year onwards we'll get a better go. Scharenberg is that could be a bit more serious. 2 knee reconstructions. Gee, I don't know if he'll get over this, to be quite honest, which is a shame, because we saw some glimpses of what Scharenberg can do and how he plays football. Would have been a very, very good player, but it's all before him now. I don't know if he can come back from this second knee reconstruction. Hey, let's hope he does, because he's obviously a very good footballer, but we'll know more in 12 months' time.
So Jeremy Howe's one of 3 players traded to the Pies during the off-season, the other 2 being Trelaw from GWS and James Ace from Brisbane. What are your thoughts on new additions?
Oh, I think Trelaw is going to be a beauty, and I think Ace is going to be very good as well. We all know that Trelaw can play. We all know that Ace junior football was sensational. Now, whether or not he wasn't able to produce that at Brisbane because he wasn't happy at Brisbane, or there was some other problems up there, but I think if Ace can get back to his junior level form, I think we've picked up a very, very good player. And I think Trelaw could quite easily be a Brownlow medalist.
With an eye on the future, it's expected that Dane Swan will spend more time up forward in 2016. Considering the fact he is 32 years old in February, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I think all day last year Swanee was excellent for Collingwood, but it's hard to... look, he's a freak player, Swan. He could probably run right throughout the midfield for the whole season, but I think they might use him more up forward and bring him into the midfield late in the game, when other players are tiring in the midfield. But Swanee's very good. Swanee is a very, very good player, and gee, haven't we had good service out of him. So I would expect another, no matter where he plays, I would expect another huge season from Swanee, and most probably his last season, I think it would be fair to say.
NAB Challenge sees Collingwood take on Geelong, North Melbourne and the Western Bulldogs, but regardless of results, would it be fair to say that you can't read too much into the pre-season?
Oh, NAB Cup's a bullshit. I don't know, I can't understand these Collingwood supporters that run around carrying on as if the NAB Cup is the whole world. I wouldn't pay any attention to a NAB Cup. I think the only thing that we have a NAB Cup is, to be quite honest, I don't know why we have a NAB Cup, but the whole thing's just a load of crap, is just to get a good look at our younger players. But I still think that, 3 NAB Cup games, I think it's unfair to judge players in extreme heat in NAB Cup games. I think we'll see the talent of our young list as the season progresses. But as far as getting excited over a NAB Cup, fucking hell, get a life. It's just a heap of crap.
Hawthorn are the favourites with the bookmakers to win the flag for a 4th consecutive season, and in doing so match Collingwood's record of 4 premierships in a row set between 1927 to 1930. Can you see anyone stopping the Hawks, and if so, who?
Well, to be quite honest, I'm not scared of Hawthorn. Hawthorn don't worry me. I think Hawthorn are on the way down. I think Hawthorn were very lucky to win the premiership last year, and I don't give a shit what Hawthorn supporters say about this. they played one of the most weakest, insipid teams in any grand final I've seen. West Coast Eagles, through their pathetic effort, gave Hawthorn the premiership. And Hawthorn were lucky to get those injured players back in time before the finals. Don't go raving on about Hawthorn to me. Okay, they're perennial premiership winners. They've been a great club, and we'd all like to be a Hawthorn, but I don't think that you're going to see a Hawthorn Football Club kicking ass this year like we've seen in previous years. Hawthorn don't even worry me, to be quite honest with you. The biggest dangers this year, I would probably say, I think Sydney will be up there. I think if Sydney can get the Tippett and Franklin thing working, I think Sydney will be up there. I think Geelong will be good. I think Collingwood will be up there. I think Collingwood will be 5. Carlton are fucked. Richmond won't make the finals. They're shit. They've made the finals the last 3 years and couldn't even win it. Don't even deserve to be there. Richmond, not even worried about Richmond. I've got a feeling one of these northern clubs, and I don't know which one, Gold Coast or GWS, are going to pull a season out of the bag and be a very good side. I think Adelaide will be good, and I think Port Adelaide will be good. I mentioned Carlton are fucked. Essendon won't win a game. The Essendon Football Club will not win a game, and pity the poor imbeciles of a club. If Essendon do beat a club this year, what a poor, pathetic club that would be. Essendon won't win a game. And what a shame that the Easy beats Essendon this year. We usually play them twice. If we played them twice this year, it would have been 2 wins, which meant we'd only have to win 9 to make the finals. We only play them once. What a crock of crap all that is. Why do we play them once this year? Why aren't we playing them twice? That's what I want to know. But that's my summary on teams this year. I think Collingwood will be very good. I think Collingwood will be top 5. Easily top 5 Collingwood. Would be disappointed if they finished any lower. Carlton, don't worry about them. Richmond won't make the finals. And the others that I've mentioned that I think will go well. So, look, it'll be another year of great division in the AFL, of really good sides and really poor sides. And I'm afraid that's the way it's going to be.
Right, we're about to analyse the 2016 fixtures. And one of the main things, like you've already mentioned, that sticks out is we play Essendon only once this year. You must be gutted. What have you made of the whole supplement saga and the eventual outcome? Should Essendon even be fielding a team this year?
Oh, I feel sorry for the Essendon supporter, to be quite honest. I think they've been jibbed. I think James Hird has got a lot to answer for. I think his ego has killed himself in the Essendon Football Club. If we played the Essendon Football Club twice this year, we would only need 9 wins to make the finals. They say 11 wins gets you in. Going on that basis of 11 wins gets you in the finals. We would only need 9 wins to get in. But now, I don't know why this year we're only playing Essendon once, because they will be destroyed in every game this year, Essendon. They can't possibly win a game with the amount of senior players they've got out. And these top-up players, that's the biggest load of crap. That is the biggest load of crap. They're all hacks. They're all duds and hacks. And they won't win a game. So, look, I like the Essendon supporter. I think they're passionate and they're actually fun to be with. But the Essendon Football Club's in a lot of trouble, and it's going to be a long, long time before they're back up there again. And I'm still bloody spewing that we're not playing them twice this year.
Do you think it will wreck Anzac Day?
Oh, of course it will. The Anzac Day clash this year will not resemble any previous Anzac Day clashes. I mean, Collingwood will destroy Essendon. 14 senior players out. They can't win a game. The Collingwood will destroy Essendon. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Collingwood supporter. Each club in the competition this year will destroy Essendon. They're going to cop some very, very big hidings. Their list, Essendon, would not even be up to VFL standard.
Right, so a quick look at the fixtures. 14 games in total at the MCG, including 11 of the first 14 games of the year. There's 5 interstate games. Overall, are you happy with the fixtures for the 2016 season. We only play Hawthorn once, that's in round 23. We also play Carlton, the Wooden Spooners, twice.
Yeah. Oh, well, that'll be 2 wins for us. They got no fucking chance of beating us, Carlton. Before the opposition supporters start moaning and groaning about our draw, like they always do, we've earned that draw because of the position that you laughed at us for finishing in last season. So don't go giving us this crap. Look at the draw Collingwood's got. We've earned that draw by where we finished last year. Games at the MCG, every club in the competition wants to play Collingwood at the MCG. So don't go giving me your stupid half-witted arguments about the draw that Collingwood gets. I want to know why Collingwood has 5 interstate games.
We're just going to preview the first 5 rounds of the season to the end of April.
Oh shit, yes, this will be good.
Right, round 1, Sydney at ANZ Stadium. Historically, this venue has been very kind to Collingwood, with the Pies winning 10 of 13 games played here. How much of a relief it would be not playing at the SCG?
Oh, I thought it was played at the SCG until you told me. Past records at grounds means nothing. Sydney are a very good side. It's a tough first up game for Collingwood. We've got to go into this game and we're expecting a tough game. I'm not sure whether Franklin will be there. Look, you've got to win your first game, but the reality is only half the competition can win its first game. So, yeah, okay, let's put Collingwood down for a win, but if we don't, it would be disappointing because earlier on the season you've got to bank your wins because as the season progresses through the winter and you have injuries and maybe a patch of bad form, you've got to bank wins as quick as possible. So let's hope for a Collingwood win. It'll be a top game like it usually is most probably, but it's not an easy game.
Moving on to round 2, Richmond at the MCG. A Friday night clash and a chance of avenging a 91-point loss to the Tigers in round 21 last year.
Fuck Richmond. Richmond. Oh, God. What is it about them that makes me want to vomit every time I mention their name? Look, the pretenders, the chokers, call them what you like. How did they beat us by such a margin last time? What, were we asleep or something? God, Collingwood will beat Richmond at the MCG. That'll be our second win of the year and we'll do it easy.
There's a very famous photo of you from the year 2000 getting turfed out the G against Richmond. Can you tell us what happened in that picture?
Oh, that's just me exchanging pleasantries with the Richmond supporters. No, look, the Richmond supporters are okay. Look, they're as passionate as what the Collingwood people are. They're okay, but, Richmond, win a final before you can start bragging. For God's sake, win a fucking final.
Round 3, St Kilda at the MCG. Collingwood could potentially go up against their number 10 pick in the 2013 draft, Nathan Freeman.
Yeah, let's hope he breaks a leg. A player walked out on Collingwood. Wow. Don't get me started, Ben, because I might upset people. It'll be our third win all day. Let me tell you something about St Kilda. St Kilda I think St Kilda are a team of the future. I think they've got a great list of young players. Whether or not they can put it all together in this season coming up, I don't know, but they're not far away from being a good side. But at the MCG, I think you would have to say win number 3 for the Pies.
Of course, they've gone right downhill since the 2010 Grand Final.
Yes.
What are your thoughts and memories of that game and the replay?
Oh, I thought that there's no way no one was going to let Milne pick up that ball and kick a goal because someone would have jumped the fence and killed the twit. I thought that the replay, the drawn game, when Goddard took that mark, I thought it was all over. I think when a player with your side or an opposition side does something so spectacular, it's a good sign that side will go on and win. Thankfully that didn't happen. I think we were very lucky to get out of 2010. I think we were very lucky. I think on the day St Kilda were better than us. We didn't score a goal in the third quarter, which the first time it happened to us all year. Look, we were lucky, but let me say that. Having said that, let me say that the right team won the premiership the following week, because we were the best side by a clear margin in 2010, and the result of the replay proves that.
Round 4, Melbourne at the MCG. Melbourne's victory over Collingwood in round 18 last year was their first over the pie since round 11, 2007.
Melbourne. What is it about these bastards that really... Oh, God, Melbourne. Look, the sad thing is for me, and it's going to be horrible, is Melbourne aren't that far away from being a good side. They're a fair way from being a top side, but they're not far away from being a good side. So there's a look, how did they beat us last year? Oh my God, I sat there thinking, no, this is not happening. Look, I don't like the Melbourne Football Club. In fact, I despise Melbourne as much as what I despise Carlton. I hate the bastards. And they are traditionally one of Collingwood's biggest rivals, the Melbourne Football Club, along with the scum from Princes Park. I hope we thrash Melbourne. Yeah, win number 4 for the Pies and easy.
So you're going 4 wins from the first 4 games, and I already know you're going to say 5 from 5. Anzac Day, Essendon.
Fuck off, mate. and yes, and I'll tell you what, mate. If we cannot thrash Essendon on Anzac Day, I will go back to the MCG the game after, and I will bear my ass to the punt rate end goals.
Right, okay, so your tip for the flag before the season starts?
My tip for the flag would be... See the barricades are shouting. How could I go against Collingwood? Come on, Ben. Collingwood premiers. Brownlow. Treloar. Wooden Spoon. Essendon. Coleman Medal. Cloak. The medal for the best grand final player. What's that called again? That's called the... Oh, shit. What's that medal called again? Grand final medal. Best on field in a grand final. I forget what it's called. Apologies to the player that the medal's named after. Jack Frost. Oh. What else?
Who's Collingwood going to beat in the grand final?
Who will Collingwood beat in the grand final? Collingwood will beat...
Hawthorn, stop them getting a record?
No, fuck off, I won't even get there. Collingwood will beat Sydney in the grand final by 57 points. Cloak will run berserk. Treloar will win the medal for best on ground. Did I mention Treloar before, or have I mentioned someone else? Treloar will get it. Well, it might even tie with another Collingwood player if that's a possibility. I'm talking shit here. No, Treloar to get the best on ground. Cloak will have an outstanding year for Collingwood. Buckley will win the Jock McHale medal. On your Bucks. We love your Bucks. That's about it, I'm afraid. I think, like I said before, Carlton are rooted. Essendon are fucked. Richmond, for fuck's sake, Richmond, win a final, will you? Before you carry on with any more of your shit on how good you think you are or how good you will be, win a fucking final. Then get back to us. Right? Look, I think it's going to be another struggling year for the AFL. We struggled last year, there's no doubt about that. Don't listen to the spin you hear from people. It's a struggling competition. I'm going to be very interested in seeing how the crowd responds to the AFL this year in regards to empty seats everywhere like there was last year. I just hope that the players of the AFL grow up, act your age, appreciate the support that your fans give you and the money they spend to follow you, and show some respect. Keep your names out of the newspapers for all the fucking wrong reasons. You imbeciles. You're on top money, and all the incidents that have taken place in this competition over the last 2-3 years, hang your heads in shame. Pull your heads in. Let's all have a great competition. Let's all enjoy ourselves. Let's hope the crowds return tenfold back to this game, because it is a great game. Let's all have fun. Let's not pretend to be offended by friendly banter, some harmless supporting. For God's sake, just grow up, everyone, and just get their support and have a good time. And Geelong? You poor imbeciles. Get ready for another handbag, Geelong, because you're going to cop it. You're going to cop it big time, you pack of handbaggers.
Right, so Joffa, we talked about Collingwood. Now on a personal level, you've had a film brought out, a bullhead doll,
yes,
an autobiography. So the question I want to know, when are we going to see a Joffa statue outside the MCG?
Oh, God. Well, Coca-Cola see this, they might actually give us some free slabs of Coke. What do you reckon? Yes, no, Ben, I can't see that happening. I'm sorry. No, I can't see that happening. Look, I think, look, we've got to look after the supporters. I think at the moment over here in London, with the EPL, we can see there's a supporter uprising happening here right now about ticket pricing. We have a similar type of problem back home in the AFL. And I think the AFL and football clubs have got to be very, very, very careful, because we spoke a bit before on empty seats. Empty seats are not a good look. Empty seats bring no passion to the game. And our game was once all about the euphoria of the moment and the passion, and we can't lose that. The amount of games I watched on TV last year, non-Collingwood games of course, and empty seats everywhere, I was embarrassed. So let's get back to reality here. As soon as one working class family says they cannot afford to go as a family to watch a game of football, you know we have a massive problem. But no one's listening. No one cares. And we'd hate to see our game go down the same road as what it is here in the English Premier League, although I suspect that it's well and truly on that road right now. And I think the supporters have got to realise that as one, we break with different clubs, but as one, we have a terrific ability or capability to have a big say in how this game is run. To think that only 17,000 tickets are allocated to the two sides on grand final day is a joke, and that's throwing shit at the supporter who was paid big money for a membership, and then to be told on the biggest day of his life your name has gone into a ballot with the probability you're not going to get a grand final seat. Well, that's fucking bullshit. The game is all about the supporter. It's not about the media and these egos in the media who think they own the game. The game is not about football clubs and CEOs and coaches. If you've got a game and there's no one there to watch that game, then you haven't got a game. And that's where us supporters come right in. So we've got to stand up and say whenever, or this is not right. So we're going to stand up as one, and we're going to start fighting for our rights. It is a game that was built on working class supporters, and we must keep it that way. Okay, we know that the corporate dollar and the sponsorship and the TV rights, the billions of dollars, we all know that's important since the game has become professional. Yes, we understand that. But let's get back to reality, and let's not move the game away from the supporter. When we do that, it's no longer a game. It's finished.
What can be done to move the game back to the supporter?
Well, I think reality ticket pricing, Ben. I think let's have a special, a real fair income concession price for the family. let's bring people in on welfare, people who can't afford to go, people on unemployment, disability, old age pensions. Let's get them in on a really sensible concession price, something that they can afford. Abolish this 17,000 allocation of tickets to each participating club supporters on grand final day. Let's have grand final day, 50,000 supporters, members of both clubs at the MCG, and let's keep it that way, a day for, it's the biggest day of our life to be at a grand final, and that should be an opportunity for everyone to participate in. Our game has problems, don't worry about that, and it's very sad to see, and we've got to do something about it, and we've got to do something about it quickly.
You've been over here in the UK for 3 weeks, you've been to a lot of EPL games. What can you take from those games back home to Melbourne and to the AFL?
Did you see that cake? I marvel at the passion at the EPL games. The ticket pricing is extraordinary. But let's not forget, £74, which is what they're all complaining about here to see a football game, is roughly equivalent to our highest priced variable pricing ticket. So there's not much difference here. And this is where the people are starting to say, we can't afford any more. We're just working class people, working people. We can't afford any more. So if you're not going to listen to us, well, then we'll take action to make you listen. And it would be a shame for it to come to that. But Liverpool supporters the other week walked out en masse in one of their games. Arsenal supporters have been encouraged to do the same thing. Just today, the West Ham manager came out and said that the pricing of tickets here in the EPL is ridiculous. Very much the same as what it is in Australia. Okay, might not be to the proportion that it is here, but if it's not already, we're getting there. So let's have a good look at ourselves, and let's do something before too much damage is done.